Hello everyone, welcome to a new feature on my channel which is centered around a top 5 list related to gaming. Now for this first video I want to showcase Dark Souls 2 and list my top 5 improvements that the new game should have over its predecessors. Now, since the announcement of Dark Souls 2 during the Video Game Awards last year, a bit more info has trickled out about the game. For starters, while From Software is still making the game, a new director has been announced to lead the game's direction. Now, many fans have met this news with some trepidation, as such a drastic change could very well alter the core of what makes Dark Souls such a good game. On the other hand, the new director might be able to bring a new perspective on the lore of Dark Souls and also add some new quality elements too. So it's a bit too early to call this move a failure. With that in mind, however, this list will try to, suggest 5 things that Dark Souls 2 should have in order to improve on its predecessors. Number 5. More boss variety. Now, the Dark Souls series has a tremendous number of bosses, all with a good degree of individuality. However, looking at Dark Souls a bit closer, you see a few resemblances to Demon Souls in terms of boss attributes. For instance, the Bell Gargoyle's boss fight in Dark Souls is similar to the Man-Eater's boss fight in Demon Souls. A few other comparisons can be made too, with Pinwheel similar to Fool's Idol, Iron Golem similar to Tower Knight, and the Gwyn similar to Flame Lurker. And perhaps there are others too that I've not even mentioned. It's not really a major fault with Dark Souls, but the implication of these similar fights is that players tend to already know what to do in the newer boss fights. Now, part of Dark Souls' charm is actually learning a boss fight, learning their moveset, adapting to the boss fight, and overcoming a boss fight through perseverance. Now, when you have similar bosses, however, this becomes a moot point because, you already know the boss's general weaknesses and you already know what to do. Of course, it may be a bit overly critical if, say, a future boss in Dark Souls 2, has the ability to turn invisible. Now, I don't think you should automatically compare that new boss fight to the Priscilla boss fight in Dark Souls 1. There's kind of more to it than just, the way it looks. But it would be great if all bosses in future games had significant individuality over the previous bosses. Number 4. Dedicated servers. Now this is an easy point to make, as dedicated servers did wonders for Demon Souls Online compared to Dark Souls P2P structure. There were still issues with dedicated servers in Demon Souls. For instance, lag was still a problem, but the overall quality of the online was so much better. This is painfully obvious whenever you see a message left by fellow players on the ground in any part of the game. You see, in Demon Souls, you had hundreds of ratings on a number of different messages, especially in the Nexus. That, coupled with the bonuses you actually got by having a message rated positive, meant it felt very rewarding to help others. In Dark Souls 2, however, you'd be lucky to find a message with more than 10 votes. Rarely did you feel rewarded for leaving messages in Dark Souls at all, and that was due to the online structure. Dark Souls 2 needs to desperately improve on this, as the online portion of the game is a huge positive aspect for the Souls series and one very unique experience that you can't get anywhere else. Number 3. Environmental hitboxes. Now, let me explain what I mean by environmental hitboxes. I essentially mean the ability of enemies, mostly bosses, to swing their weapons through walls or pillars without detriment. Now, you yourself as the player can't do this most of the time. Instead, your weapon swing is interrupted and you're left vulnerable if you hit a wall. And so sometimes you need to really be conscious of what weapon you're using. Whether the weapon has a swing attack pattern or a, piercing attack pattern. Bosses, however, don't have the same problem. It is, in all honesty, a bit cheap that enemies can get away with striking you through walls and pillars. Not only does it interrupt what generally are logical gameplay mechanics that Dark Souls implements, it also looks kind of hideous too. So an improvement in this aspect is very much welcomed in my eyes. Number 2. A better Covenant setup. The Covenant system introduced in Dark Souls is a very neat idea. Unfortunately, it felt underwhelming in practice. Never was there a true conflict between covenants that should technically be in opposition to one another. It also felt whimsical, as you could change covenants without much issue, leading to no real reason to join certain covenants early on because the rewards only came much later, and you would also just leave a covenant once you gain those rewards because you had no reason to stay. There was never a true reason to remain loyal to one covenant throughout the playthrough either. In fact, it could be argued that would be a waste. Now, certain covenants, like the Gravelord Covenant, also had major issues with the way its online interactivity worked at the beginning of Dark Souls. Actually, now I'm not sure because I haven't played the game in a while, but when the Dark Souls first came out, definitely the Gravelord Covenant was kind of glitchy and bugged. Now, I would like to see the Covenant system return in Dark Souls 2, but its relevance to the game and to the online could be drastically improved. The Covenant system in Dark Souls 1 felt merely like a drop of water in an ocean of possibilities that can be implemented in Dark Souls 2. Number 1. Mobile enemies. Finally, the biggest improvement I like to see in Dark Souls 2 is to have mobile enemies in the game. Now, this isn't really, I guess, a gameplay or a story improvement because, well, Dark Souls is pretty damn good from a gameplay and even a story perspective with the atmosphere that you have with the game. So this is kind of just like a better icing on the cake. Static enemies, you see, have been the norm in both Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls, and it is kind of rather stale. It's too easy when you know exactly where every enemy is positioned and how to run around them. Mobile enemies would provide a slightly tougher opposition as the randomness will catch people out. There can still be a place for static enemies that only engage you when you are close to them, but by and large, I'd like to see mobile enemies introduced. Seeing zombies or snake men standing around like statues just waiting for you makes things slightly easy and predictable. Admittedly, a sight like seeing 6 Taurus demons in the demon ruins just waiting to pounce on you is kind of a spectacular sight whether they were mobile or static, but in most other cases, I'd much prefer mobile enemies. So there you have it, folks, a quick rundown of the top 5 things that I think Dark Souls 2 should definitely improve on or implement in the new game. I'm pretty sure there are a bunch of other stuff that the game can introduce, but these 5 things I think really stand out to me to a certain degree. So, hit up the comment section if you have any more ideas or what should be implemented in Dark Souls 2 too. And, like and subscribe to this video if you want to see more features like this top 5 list that I'm going to be getting used to, and I'm going to be doing a lot more with my channel. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.